For example, disobeying your parents, and those people who have problems with their parents. And I wanted to raise it tomorrow, the day after, but now that we're talking about it, let's talk about it. For a person who disobeys their parents, if your parents are unhappy with you, know Allah is not happy with you. Let me give you another tradition. It says that if your mother is happy with you, despite the fact that you may be a sinner, despite the fact that you may be going through some issues, you know what Allah says to the angels? He says, because his mother is happy with me, I'll forgive all of his sins. I'm Sattar al-Ayyub. I'll hide all of his aib, and I'll forgive him, and I'll help him. But no, if your mother is upset with you, then there is nothing in this world that can change that. If your mother for 1 second has tears in her eyes because of you, know that you're in terminal decline, my friends. Go and ask for forgiveness, because all of the problems that you can't even dream about will come to you. Can't even dream about. Tomorrow, don't complain then if something happens to your child, or something happens to your wealth, or something happens to your health. If your mother has died angry with you, then don't complain if illness is before you, torment and trial and tribulation. What should you do? Many a time people come to us and they say, look, give us a dua, give us a dhikr. Why? We're going through financial difficulty, especially in the credit crunch, going through financial, they give us something. Fine, Ahlul Bayt have given us a lot. And the du'as that the Ahlul Bayt have given are our du'as. And I remember in the credit crunch, 300 people were saved from bankruptcy with certain du'as of the Ahlul Bayt. But the first stage is this: is your mother happy with you? If you're going through trial and tribulation, or there's a problem in your life, the first stage is to go to your mother. Go and sit down with your mother. You know, your mother's never going to say to you, I'm upset with you. When you ask your mother, are you upset with me? She's never going to say, I'm upset with you. You know what you should do? Go and make her a cup of tea. Do something for her. Do something good for her. See, a mother's heart is soft. The mother's heart melts in front of you when you do something nice. Now imagine Allah, and imagine Allah's heart. And we talk about heart, Allah doesn't have a physical heart. But talk about Allah. Look at Allah. That Allah, 70,000 mothers. And this is all what? This is all for us to understand. Allah, look at Allah. Allah's calling upon all of you these nights. You know, these 10 nights are muqaddas nights. Come back to me, is what Allah is saying. Let me give you an example. You see, a lot of times we don't understand the Quran. When you read the Quran, you don't understand the Quran. But if you look at it, Allah is speaking in love to you. Quran is a book of love where Allah speaks in love to you. Let me give you an example. You've seen a mother, right? You've seen that mother, despite the fact that however much you cause her pain, you find that that mother looks towards you with loving eyes. And when you get angry as a youth and you walk out on your mother, what does your mother say to you? She looks at you and says, son, where are you going? You see the pain in the mother's heart. Son, where are you going? Why are you leaving? Why don't you come back, son? And in anger you walk out. And that pain that goes in the heart of a mother, you don't know about that. See, they say in the time of the Bani Israel, there's a parable in the time of the Bani Israel. You know what that parable is? Let me give you that parable. It says that there was a mother, and she raised her son, and there was no father. Everything she puts into that son, she raises that son. The son becomes old, youth, and at that moment he falls in love with a girl. And the girl sees that he loves his mother, but he falls in love with her. And you know, love is that, you find it's a madness. Once you fall in love, there's no way out. So you know what happens? You know what this woman says? She says, why don't you cut the heart of your mother out and bring it to me? That mother who's raised you for 21 years. Show me your love. Cut her heart out and bring it to me. Bani Israel saying this parable says at night time, this young man went, he took a knife, he carved the heart of his mother, he takes it in his hand, and as he's moving, he trips and he falls to the ground. And as he falls to the ground, from the body of the mother comes, son, are you okay? See, that's the mother. That's the love of the mother. Now imagine that mother who says, son, where are you going? Why are you leaving me? Why are you moving away from me? Think about it. You know what Allah says? Look in the Quran. He says, where are you going, my servant? Wasn't I a good Lord to you? Why are you leaving me for? Didn't I give you risk? Didn't I aid you when there was no one there to aid you? Am I not waiting for you? Why don't you turn back, my slave? Why don't you turn back, my servant? In the same way these nights Allah is waiting for you. Why don't you turn back? Whatever you've done, whatever sins you've done, however you've done it, why don't you turn back to me? This is what these nights are about. Tonight though, go to your mothers and ask if you've done anything wrong. Ask for forgiveness. Know your life will become a lot more easier. And I can almost hear people saying, but what about if our mother is not alive? What should we do then? You see, when your account is closed, when you go into alam al-barzakh, you find that your parents have nothing then. When you shed even a tear, make the niyyah that I'm shedding these tears for the sake of my mother, who may be suffering in her grave, who may be going through difficulty in her grave, because her account has been closed. Do something for your mother. But in fact, they say that if your dua is not being accepted and your mother has passed out, go to the grave of your mother and say to her, Mother, I'm in problems. You're my mother. Why don't you pray for me in your grave? And you find that your problems are alleviated. You know, the Prophet of God says, he says that even if you don't know where the grave of your mother is, you know what? Draw a line there and then say, Mother, I'm in problems, I'm in difficulties, right? This is what the Ahlul Bayt said. You know what Sayyid al-Shuhada says when he sees Layla, right? What's happening to Layla? She's upset, she's worried. You know what Sayyid al-Shuhada said? He says, I've heard from my grandfather Rasulullah that when a child is in difficulty and a mother goes and prays, what happens? That child is removed from difficulty. If you have a problem, go to your mothers, go to your fathers, ask them. One thing then, remember in these nights, Sila Rahim. That's what Sayyid al-Shuhada teaches us. That